All right, what's going on, guys, and welcome back. So this is something that I very much do not like, and it does have to do with the patent infringement situation, but not in the way you might be thinking. So there's this article by Games Radar that discusses the fact that Sega is now filing patent infringement claims against an idle RPG for the gacha mechanics. And this isn't so much about whether or not, patents were infringed upon or whatever. My stance on this is more like, I think it's kind of bullshit that you can patent a video game mechanic, because where does it end? So sure, the Pokeball, for example, is a very specific thing. You could argue that like using something similar would be like copying or whatever, but like when it comes to like gacha mechanics or like any like okay, so I'm a little stumbling over my words right now because of how like many layers there are to this. So I'm just gonna like go with the more extreme examples. Imagine if Doom patent first-person shooting. Imagine if Mario patent jumping on turtles. Imagine if Mario Kart or any racing game that came out before that patent racing games, right? Or Mario Kart patent like racing games with items. All it does is stifle the sort of like creativity or creative like abilities of other developers, because if everybody just starts patenting certain game mechanics, you're never going to end up in a situation where you can actually create something without worrying, oh, is this too similar to this? Oh, is this too similar to that? And it really does stifle that creative growth, because there are a lot of games that maybe aren't taking things to the level that fans want them to, that indie devs can do. So again, I don't want you guys to focus too much on the gacha game mechanics, because like most people don't like gachas anyway. I want you to focus more on the fact that now Sega is filing patent infringements, and a lot of people are thinking this is because Nintendo's doing it, so now everybody else is doing it, and I don't like this precedent. So we'll get into the article. It's pretty short, and then I'll talk a little more. So Sega is seeking 1 billion yen in damages from Memento Mori developer Bank of Innovation. So it says, a month after Nintendo's Palworld lawsuit, Sega files its own patent infringement claim against idle RPG devs' gacha mechanics. Sega has reportedly filed a patent infringement against Bank of Innovation, the developer of Idle Memento Mori, a mobile game, Genju Kayaku Crypt Tract. I probably pronounced all of that wrong. Let's go down. According to a report from Otaku Sugen, translated by Automation, Sega is seeking both 1 billion yen in damages, that's over 6.6 million at the current exchange rate, and an injunction for patent infringement. This apparently comes after previous negotiations between the two companies. Sega alleges that Bank of Innovation has infringed upon 5 different patents, all of which relate to gameplay mechanics, or more specifically, mechanics often tied to gacha. Over on Twitter, analyst Dr. Seken Toto, the CEO of Japan games industry company Kanten Games, says, I looked at the patents and one of them describes a specific system for fusing character cards of the same kind more easily. Despite the legal action, Bank of Innovation has apparently expressed that it wants to keep running Memento Mori regardless of the conclusion of the lawsuit. It's worth noting that it doesn't believe that there is any basis for its apparent infringements in the first place and is hoping to prove such during the case. The timing of the lawsuit is rather interesting, given that only last month Nintendo and the Pokemon Company filed a similar lawsuit against Palworld developer Pocket Pair. At the time, Pocket Pair stated that it wasn't actually aware of what the patents it was alleged to have infringed upon, although some have suggested one describing Pokeball catching mechanics could be at the heart of it. Pocket Pair previously said it will do our utmost to our fans to ensure that indie developers are not hindered or discouraged from pursuing creative ideas. And that's pretty much it for the article. So, say what you want about Palworld. You could say the designs are lazy. They're not getting sued for the designs. Okay, so you could say whatever you want about that. Oh, the models are copied. Well, if they were actually like legitimately copied, why is Nintendo filing for patent infringement and not like actual legitimate copyright infringement? That's besides the point. Other than that, like, this is not a good precedent, not just for monster taming, but for gaming. At what point can you patent a game mechanic? How specific does it have to be? How general can it be? Who decides who gets to patent certain mechanics, especially when like some mechanics have been out for a long time? Like, can I retroactively patent something? Like, here's another example. The Pokeball was patented in 2023. Palworld had Palspheres in trailers back in like 2020, I believe 2021. So like, does that like retroactively make it like something that you can patent? Like can the creators of Doom go back and like, you know, retroactively patent the first-person shooter or a specific mechanic behind first-person shooting? I don't know how any of this works. I'm not a lawyer, but I don't like this precedent. Like, their game mechanics, like how specific, what's the line of specificity that allows you to be like, oh, this is mine and you can't use it? Like, it's just too broad. And again, like, bad precedent. Like, are certain developers going to be able to patent the idea of using monsters in battle? Like, could you know, Cosmic Soldier come back from the grave and be like, well, we had taming first because you could tame aliens, and you know, we own it, so you know, Pokemon, give us like 1 billion yen for using our programs. Or same with like Megami Tensei or Dragon Quest V or any of those games that came out prior to Pokemon. Like, can they be like, oh, well, we own monster battling? Or can Pokemon try to say that they do? Some people are speculating they might be trying that, or at least the idea of like a tamer that catches monsters or whatever. This is just such a stupid situation. Like, why is video game mechanics something that can be patented? It's not a physical invention. It's so weird. It's not a like, it's not like an app. It's not an invention. It's not a product. It's a mechanic within a product, not the actual product itself. It's just weird. Anyways, let me know what you guys think down below. These are just some ramblings from someone who's kind of annoyed by this whole situation. I don't like where this is going for monster taming, and especially because Nintendo has so much like power over that sphere, but also just for gaming in general. It feels like gaming has just become so like, what's the word for it? Like, it's become so corporatized that video games are no longer about being fun. They're just about being addictive and, you know, getting certain like psychological triggers from you and stuff like that. And it's become so like corporatized that they just care about like minimizing output and maximizing input, and they'll do whatever it takes to do that. They don't care about the artistic side of things. Like, oh, other games are inspired by us, oh well, fuck them. Like we want all that money. Like, it's just become such like a business that it's no longer about creating the best games. It's just about like, you know, throwing your weight around. But like I said, I'm just kind of rambling at this point, and it just feels like this is not it is and it isn't a great time to be a gamer. Like, in some aspects it's great because there's so many indie games and stuff like that, but if you're into like AAA studios and stuff like that, like, this is not it, man. Like, so many just stupid situations. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. I'll see you next time. Peace.